In this video tutorial, we're going to learn how to do great notes in Excel with input messages. So let's dive in. Here we have our employee order form. Let's say that we want to add a little note for the recipient of our workbook here, so they know how to correct format input the data into our cell. What we can do here is we can leave a tasteful note through the input messages. So instead of just leaving text off to the side of the workbook or even writing it in an email, we can set something up. That way, when the user clicks on the cell, they will see a little input message with the extra details about how to work with the workbook. So for our example here, we're going to navigate over to cell B4 and let's add in a note here inside of B4 about the format that we want the user to put the office in. In order to access the input menu here, we're going to navigate on the data ribbon to the data validation tool inside of the data tools segment. And here, when we click on the data validation option, we get our data validation menu. Now, you may be familiar with this menu by creating drop-down menus. However, we have this extra tab over here called Input Message. And this is where we can go in and essentially write a note to the recipient of our workbook that they will receive when they click on the cell. Let's say first that we want to give it a title, and let's call it Input Format because this is the format that we want the user to input the data in. And for our office names, let's have our users put it into the format of our city, state. And then we also have this checkbox here to show the input message when the cell is selected, which we want to leave on for this example. Now, what we're going to do is click on OK. As you can see, when I click into this cell, we now have this cute and tasteful note here titled Input Format with City and State. This is a great tool to use if you're creating some form of model or any type of workbook that is a form that you would like to give a little extra guidance to the recipients of the workbook in terms of how you want the data to be inputted or where to input the data in general.